It's aliens and they're living in your town. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Weird and Whatever podcast. How the hell are you?
Doing good.
Doing fantastic.
Mr. Beckett, the hair looks very coiffed today.
Yeah, it's season again. It's been crazy. The traffic was crazy. I can't keep the hair down.
Do you like it when it's in season more?
It's a double-edged sword.
So you work in the horse world. Do you have any horse jokes? Just for like a little small talk. If you're talking to a client, you want to dazzle them.
One of my gay friends told me this joke. It's hilarious. I think. What does a gay horse eat?
I don't know.
Hi.
I mean, I think every profession should have a couple of
Like
jokes
ace in the hole jokes.
Yeah, I mean, you're an educator, Vicky. Do you have a couple jokes?
My job is a joke.
Oh.
No, but
Let's get into it.
actually, I tell everybody that if you can't come to school and walk away without laughing at least once on something that a child has done, then you need to get another job. Because every day some kid does something that just cracks me up.
Yeah, no, kids are. I love kids.
They're at a weird age where they haven't realized the filter that has to go in order not to hurt feelings. So they say things so bluntly.
Oh yeah, no, I remember when I had a lot of weight to me, and a kid goes, "Why are you so fat?" And I was like, "Damn." Then I was like, "Why am I so fat?" And I went,
Little kids kind of make me nervous because I'm afraid what they're gonna say.
oh no, they are. They'll tell you look old. They'll tell you smell gross. They
Right.
are.
Oh yeah.
They're mean critics.
But if they give you a compliment, it's sincere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure.
Yeah, that's the kind of the good thing too. You get the actual sincerity.
So I got a couple emails from people who wanted us to kind of delve back into what our philosophies were about where do we come from as a species? Why are we here? What's our purpose? I know we touched upon this way early during the Weird and Whatever beginnings.
The run.
Yeah, but someone wanted us to elaborate a little bit more. Some people, if you, they believe in heaven or they believe in an afterlife. So they, I think they look at life probably different than someone who does not.
Or what about just humans in general being, I guess you could say, advanced in so many different facets compared to other animals. And we also develop art and music, and we like to create, and we like to pretend. We have advanced emotions where we could be manipulative, or, we have deep emotions. Why is so much power granted to one species compared to every other species, and so vastly? But, I mean, at the same time, humans are actually pretty weak as well. We can be killed very easily.
You can argue, too, that animals have their own genius that we don't understand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They sense weather, which would have to be great. We have to use, gizmos to do that. But there's just so many things, like beavers are perfectly designed to do what they do. They have one oriented task. They almost have, like, what they're supposed to do right when they're born. The blueprints are already in their brain. Humans, we are literally dropped here and just... You have no instructions. You just start the game and you wander. And then we develop societies to kind of control the masses because you have all these wandering people. Like, you have to have some sort of government. So then we create that. And then originally we're foraging, so we can't create art. We spend all of our days collecting, and hunting. And then now we have people that are designated hunters and catchers and gatherers. Now we can focus on art, language, literature, all this stuff. Why are we so advanced compared to any other species?
Vicky, you being the educator, counter that.
It just blows my mind that we have.
it sounds
I'm holding
like
a
it does.
styrofoam cup.
I don't think I've ever heard you talk that much. I mean, I can tell this is.
It's just the
rattling
craziest
around.
question. Like when that kid said, why are you fat or whatever? It's why. That's like the most profound question.
But don't you think you're talking about how we've got all this kind of like this genius that other species doesn't? But to my point earlier, and you being an animal lover, because you speak a lot about animals, you could argue animals have a genius that humans can't even touch.
For sure.
I can't fly around and find a branch and then fly back and find that same branch. I can't do something like that.
I bet animals feel happy though. I feel contentment.
There's something genius in the simplicity.
Exactly, but why we have no designated task. We build upon what is here and we use what we have around us. Whereas they, adapt the land to fit their needs.
Vicky, why are we here?
Oh, well, I was just going to make a point to that. We do have a designated task, and that's controlled by our
reproduce.
culture. And I think
Well,
too,
yeah, I mean, to
that's
keep the
part of it.
machine
So we've
moving.
created our own task according to our culture and things like that.
And what you think is right at the time. Some people are like, we have to build an empire. We have to appease these gods. We have to create stock markets, have free exchange. Like everybody has their own idea of what they're supposed to do. But there's no right answer to any of those.
Yeah, I think
that's just what people think.
I think a lot of times people think they're always going to get to the happiest point in their life. It's always, in 5 years, I'm going to get to this unbelievable
goal.
or this inner peace and 5 years comes and you don't get it. I think we're just constantly
And then
always,
you work for the next goal.
Yeah, I think we're always chasing something that might be the unattainable.
Right.
Because
And,
once you get it, what do you got?
Yeah. And some Native Americans believe that this was actually hell. The time that you spend here is actually hell. So what they did here, they didn't have expectations of grandeur and things that we do because this is hell. We have to go through it, and then we get to go to the other side.
We have pizza here. This ain't hell. This ain't hell. You would
But
not have pizza in
Pizza's
hell.
almost like drinking sips of poison. Because over time, if it's all you ate was pizza and you love it,
It's really bad for you.
that's what I'm
Damn.
saying. So,
Why are you guys looking at my stomach right now?
but I'm just saying, like
No, you're
anything that's
right.
overly decadent like that is such a like you don't necessarily need it to survive.
So on the flip side, like what Denise is talking about, like there's debates within our own human culture. Should we live like more indigenous people do, like the Native Americans do, or should we live this like Western society in terms of like urban
sure.
societies and how there's just a totally different approach on how we're living off the land and.
Well, everybody interprets it differently.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes when people get quiet and they get away from distractions, they realize life really isn't about your career. It's not about that's not really your identity. That's something you do. And I get if you're a person that has serious passion and gets serious happiness from your career, well then I think you're living on
You're fulfilling
yeah,
that
I think
need
you're living,
for you personally.
Yeah, I think you have a purpose. I think you feel like you got a purpose. It doesn't even feel like work. But I think when you're quiet and you realize you kind of put away all the bullshit, there's so many things that we waste our time on that doesn't matter. That
You
brings
sweat.
us.
You look back, you're like, why did I care about that?
Yeah.
Like, even if you look back just 3 years, you're almost like, dude, there's squabbles that I don't even care about
Or a
anymore.
recent breakup you thought was gonna just end you,
and you
End
always
you, and you,
realize
like back what she's not even
time
hot.
the healer of all.
I don't say those things to be dismissive of people's pain, but yeah, you're right. I'm thinking about 3 years ago, and I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening.
Whatever you're going through at that time.
Yeah,
And you've
and-
made it through. You're here right now.
It's bullshit. I mean, it really is. It's a bunch of horse shit. There's gonna be times where there's something that does hit you and drop in your life where you're like, oh,
and
my
there's some
God.
things that you need to focus on.
Yeah.
There's some things you just don't need to.
Screw it, we should just get beers after the podcast. It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, life is such a perplexing thing. Like, we not only have food to survive, we have to now decorate it and make it even better. There's like, we're making adaptations, and no other animal does that. Like,
I did.
why-
I did just listen to a thing on NPR about they were talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and once you have food,
Shelter,
water, shelter,
love.
security, then the other stuff. Then a lot of people throughout time and historically, and even today around the world, they're still worrying about those things.
Yeah,
And you're
for
worried
sure.
about protecting your young, worried about where your next meal's gonna get, all this other thing. Like you're not worried about all this other fluff. You're just focused on surviving. That
Well,
day.
if you have those met, then now you're thinking about other things because you've met your goals. Now you're like, all right, so what's next? I need a gold chalice.
You're like, damn it, I didn't DVR that in HD.
That's what I'm saying. Then petty things become your worries because
Yeah.
there's nothing greater for you to worry about.
Yeah, if you lose your remote control and that's the worst shit that happened to you
Or
during
you
the
don't
week.
have batteries. Like, you need it for something you're
That-
doing.
that's what, when I used to work at the Rich Golf Club.
People would
worked-
probably freak out there.
I just could not believe the things that got them so mad and consumed their thought. I mean, talk about what's higher and more annoying than first world problems, first world millionaire, billionaire
Yeah, like-
problems.
Yeah.
I mean, they really
1% problems.
there were people that really did look down upon you because you were just not in their social.
And that's how that person's dealing with the fact that they have mortality.
My
So
eggs! I can't believe my eggs!
Yeah.
it's anything to distract you from the inevitable.
Vicky, to answer, because I did get a few of these, the questions about where do we come from. Can you touch a little? What's your opinion?
What my opinion is that we were created by someone. I don't think we're here because of, a cosmic explosion. I think we were created. I don't think that we necessarily are done after we live. I think we go to the other side. I think we have jobs. I think we learn things. I'm not completely closed off to the fact that we might come back. And that we have, which to me just makes God, or whatever you want to call the creator, the ultimate recycler. That he just recycles the souls and they go in and they learn different things their time here on Earth. To me, it kind of does.
Hipster Jesus.
What are your thoughts? Okay, if this was an exam and it said what happens, when you die, would E, like you have A, B, C, D, all the answers. What about E? Nothing. Is that even on the table for you?
For me, no.
Not at all.
No.
What about you, Beckett?
What was the question?
That the fact that when you die, there's nothing that happens. It's just you go into nothingness. Is that a thought you have, or is that something that it's not even? You're like, there's no way that happens.
It's a worry that I have, yeah. But it's one of those things, kind of like that original question: why are we here? I don't know. We don't know. And
nobody knows.
No one knows what. I really think it's 50-50. I think that there's nothing really to prove either way. You could grow up believing in a faith. And then,
sure.
And then you feel 100% positive. But in terms of what we know, it's a 50-50. So you might as well, and I subscribe to that, well, you might as well believe something good happens.
So what's yours? What's your go-to one?
My go-to one?
Yeah.
In terms of what happens afterwards?
Yeah.
You really
sorry to cut you off.
I like to believe more in that there's a spirit, and whether that's a Christian heaven or some kind of, other area. I like the idea and the thought of some kind of heaven in that sense.
Yeah, I know this is kind of a heavy topic, but I'm really fascinated by that stuff. To me, I don't understand how people go through a day without thinking about these type of things. I've been thinking that way since I was a little kid. Where do we come from?
Yeah.
Why? Why? It's a dangerous question to ask.
As complicated as DNA is, and all the stuff that we learn scientifically in the universe, it's also kind of hard to believe that it just is done.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? It's so complicated and it's just over.
The thing that brings me peace sometimes, because I really do believe in all of my heart that this is a weird experience. I mean, think about it. People have sex. A little goo makes more people. It's this big weird ball floating in space. Like you said earlier, we just show up and we kind of got to figure out stuff. This is bizarre, man. This is a weird ride we are on.
You look around, there's millions of creatures, weird things.
So if this weird ride is possible, this odd thing, which is life, how is something else after the fact
not possible?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Point.
And that does bring me a sense of peace.
Yeah.
Without bringing religion into it, because I think sometimes you have to have a discussion about certain stuff without always bringing religion in, and then there's times where you have to bring religion into it. I'm talking about more of a just a point of view on a gut feeling.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
And I look at things too from like a fair or logical standpoint. To me, how is it fair that I was born when I was and I've lived this many years, but if I were born in the 1400s, I would have been lucky to make it to 35. So that's when I started thinking, well, maybe we get to come back. Maybe, if you live in a certain time period, okay, things weren't that great. Maybe we're allowed to come back later on and see how things are. It just doesn't seem fair.
I hear you. What are your thoughts on the whole reincarnation, Denny's?
I do like the reincarnation. I would imagine, I definitely more so that you would sink into energy and return back to the planet.
Well, I'd like to morph into this deep, heavy life topic and go right into sex spells. What do you guys think?
Is it with robots?
And sex spells.
we do have a sex robot topic. It's in fact, Denny's, why don't you talk a little bit about the first robot citizen? Now, it's a publicity stunt, but it shows you.
It's got to be a publicity stunt.
It's a publicity stunt, but it's showing you that people are taking real robots seriously.
Well, Saudi Arabia is the first country to have a robot citizen. And I'm sure you guys saw that in the news about 2 days ago. But it's pretty cool. But you wonder, they're giving rights. I'm just trying to wonder.
How many rights does it have in Saudi Arabia?
Well, that's what you wonder. It's also a female robot, so they caught a little heat for that.
But people
So it can't drive?
Well, just saying that they thought it was kind of weird that they're granting citizenship to this robot, female robot.
But it's getting to the point now. Robots are becoming legit players in the game of life. Vicky, you're shaking your head. Does this freak you out?
What's
Listen,
their
I got
end
enough
game?
problem with the living. I don't need to throw in robots in there too.
But what happens if robots are so commonplace in 20 years and then they play audio of you? Listen to this, Vicky, the famous psychic, her hatred towards robots.
They're like, this is how they thought back then.
Play the clip. I mean, are they going to get real human rights here?
Obviously, that's what they're going for.
Well, so all right, let's think. It's 2017. We have some pretty advanced technology for us now. Think about how much technology's evolved just in the last 10 years. I mean, there's a possibility that they could make a robot, but I mean, ultimately it would be confined to Wi-Fi, I would imagine, so that they would be able to connect to the internet.
But imagine, okay, you go to work and your boss is a robot, and they're pretty emotionless. I mean, that would suck, man.
What would you do if your boss was a robot?
I think that this is where we're heading. Some people are. When I talk about how I'm against robots, I always get hate email. More on the KVJ show, but they call me a dinosaur, an old man. They go, Bird, this is just technology. This is the way the human race has always been. They always progress, and people get left behind to make the progress.
Just like the factories, when they started having the machines make them, people revolted against it, and obviously it worked out for the better because cars are safer, better built.
So my argument is, or me and Vicky's argument is, are we so annoyed, or robots taking over the earth? Is that something that we're going to regret saying because this is going to be so commonplace? Are we dinosaurs?
There's a lot of sci-fi out there, backing you guys up for sure. I mean, dude, just think about how much technical issues. The new iPhone comes out, they're doing the big display for everybody, and it doesn't work on stage. I mean, that's Apple. That's like arguably one of the biggest manufacturers of laptops and computers.
Beckett, is me and Vicky dinosaurs because we think because we think robots taking over the earth is bullshit?
I think it's happening.
It is happening.
It's gonna happen.
So you're with Elon Musk as
yeah,
well?
100%.
You're on Team Robot. You're like Kevin from the KVJ
It's
show.
Pandora's box. It's open. Ship sailed. There's nothing you can do about it.
That's just what a robot would tell you.
I'm not worried about
That's
it.
what an evil robot would say in the movie. There's nothing you can do. Too late to turn back.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. When I was a kid, I was playing cassette tapes.
For sure.
Now look what you're doing. Like you can have like whole.
Oh, it's
crazy
animated.
Yeah.
If you would have told me when I was 12, and fast forward 30 years from now, where people are going to be texting each other, looking in a box. I mean,
sexting. We don't ever talk about sexting. That's like virtual sex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Beckett wants to get into that. Beckett wants to talk about
Tell
that
us
sex.
more.
But 30 years ago, you wouldn't think people were doing that.
I just
You're
think-
right. Just sending their privates over the.
Shoot, 10 years ago, someone said they were online dating. You would think they were weird as hell, and now it's like, oh, you're not on Bumble? That's weird.
Have you sexed? Have
Do you
sexed
send
before?
you send those D pics?
Nah. I'm not ready to get married yet.
Last time I tried to send a D pic, it came back and said file too large. I was like, damn.
All right, where's the bad in front of Vicky Denny's?
I kept it clean.
In front of the respectable
It's
woman.
innuendo.
No, but I mean,
No, but I don't see anything wrong with technology per se, but why do you have to turn it into a human form?
Well, are you against the fact that robots will be taking human jobs, or do you think
Yes.
that's part of the progress of just humanity? Technically, it's not humanity because robots are doing it.
Yeah, I know. It's just, what are we going to do? That's my question. What are we going to do? How are we going to earn a living? How are we going to have
There's
a
article.
society?
People this is the kind of shit I say, and they call me a
Somebody still
dinosaur.
has to fix the robot. Somebody still has to make sure
well, there's
it's
articles
online.
on this. There's articles like in The Economist and whatnot where they basically say like we will just have to be like because they'll produce GDP, they'll have production, there'll be cars, there'll be an economy based on this, and everyone else is just gonna have to live on a stipend. It's gonna be because robots don't.
Robots
need
are
to get
doing all
paid.
the work.
They're making revenue.
Dude, the millennials will win. People get to chill and get money every month.
just kick it.
I don't know. Elon Musk I think he's kind of a dick.
You guys ever see Wall-E, that movie?
Yeah.
It's going to be like that.
Yeah, totally, I agree.
That's what they foresee.
And the only reason why I think Elon Musk is a dick is because he's, so successful. Yeah, robots are coming, y'all. Lock up your sons and
I'm
your
not
daughters.
even worried about them.
I still haven't seen the sex robots.
Can we send him a link to the sex
I
robot?
don't know why we keep forgetting. I could look right now.
Yeah,
Hold on,
can you
me
get
a
him some
second.
sex robot literature or a link? What else do we want to get into? Oh, sex spells, yes. So, Vicky, we've talked a little bit about the whole...
And we did some research on this one.
Yeah. So, did you know that with the sex spells, it works better on men than it would on a woman? But yeah, I know.
Oh, not surprised. But okay.
That's what we said too. When we read that, we're like, wait a minute.
It's like the
eager.
craft.
We're like eager to get.
I mean,
Spelled.
so I guess the sex spell for a man is just to say, hey, how you doing? I mean,
That's pretty much it.
But no, this is a real sex spell, and they say this is the most mild form of black magic. Now, your thoughts about a mild form of black magic? Still,
I'd have to see exactly what the formula and recipe is over there.
It's not too bad.
it's really not that bad. You have to do a chant after. There's salt involved and a glass of water.
It's an incantation.
Now you can't do this. It's very dangerous to do this sex spell or love spell. Sex spell sounds weird. If someone has strict moral standards, they say you can't have moral standards, or if they're aggressive, or if the person is suffering from impotence.
Okay.
I
That's
mean,
so random.
I think it's a random thing. But
But it says very specifically those things.
So what you want to do a love spell, you take a glass of water and some salt. Leave the glass near your bed for the night. Upon awakening, don't put your feet on the floor, but throw a pinch of salt into the glass and say, and then there's this paragraph you have to repeat to the person that you want to put the spell on. Is this horseshit, Vicky, or is there any truth to it?
Well, it's funny that they're using water and salt because those are two things that you use to protect yourself from spirits. So I think that's kind of funny that those are the things that are involved in actually in the spell to make it work.
Are you calling out the person that's talking about this love spell?
No, I'm just saying in the paranormal field, a lot of people believe that water, that spirits can't. There's two schools. One of them says that spirits can't cross water, and there's a lot of cultures who will put glasses of water under their bed and in their windowsills to keep spirits away. And salt is known to be used. Kosher salt is known for protection, like after you've cleansed a property, to use it to seal the property. So I just think it's kind of funny that, that those are the two ingredients that they use. Maybe it's all in the words that they say.
But do you think that love spells are real?
I don't particularly
How messed
believe
up
in
are
them.
how much that's kind of messed up to do a love spell on. So you're gonna make somebody like forcibly like you. That's shit, that man.
That's why I think it's black magic, right? It's like the
that
dark.
that's messed up. All right, no one do that. After reading that, it's kind of. But yeah, there's this whole paragraph about how you have to insert the name of the person you're trying to. Would you be mad if you found out you're in a loving relationship? This girl is awesome, and you found out she put a spell on you. The spell wears off. You find out the truth.
And I don't love her anymore.
No, you love her, but you found out it was all because of a spell. Can you get over that?
Yeah, if I'm happy.
Because she's hot.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. What's wrong? It's like
Yeah, any of those are like, it's bad magic, man. Those are like, I think Santeria's got some of that spooky stuff where you can kind of mind control people.
But so, see, we talked about this before, and someone emailed me and said that you guys are giving black magic a bad name. Not all black magic is bad, and it depends on the person using the black magic and what they're using it for.
Their intent.
Yeah. So is that a true statement?
Yeah, I mean, I know that Bobby Joe and I have looked up certain things that involve protection that would border on black magic, but it's all about the intent. And if your intentions are good, and it's like to protect someone, because that's specifically what we were looking up, is protecting a property, then it will come out okay because your intention was good.
But then wouldn't it not be black magic? Usually black magic is some sort of making somebody do something they don't want to do type thing. It's usually a negative consequence, I guess you could say.
Well, it is. It would technically be keeping the spirit from doing what they want to, so it still would have kind of an effect to block.
So you've seen the movie The Craft, where if you got 4 people together who really thought they were a witch or a warlock, and they did these spells, do you think it's true that they can make mystical shit happen, or is that so in the movies? Because why is that not possible and happening, but ghosts moving things. See what I'm saying? How can you have it both ways?
Technically, like the concept, if you think positive, like the
Secret?
the secret. Yeah, I mean, if you believe you're doing magic, I mean, imagine you could be using that energy and creating the outcome you want.
I'm not saying outcome. I'm talking about,
Like straight up do some magic.
look, oh, sure, there's a tree that's got,
like
lightning
something
on
of
it.
like some sort of dark magic.
Yeah, I mean,
sparkles or-
I guess why is it that we give seeing a ghost such, oh, we saw ghosts when we saw these spirits and all that stuff, but then someone says, and we talk about things moving and Ouija boards and don't go into that world, but then we bring up witches and witchcraft. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that is
Hogwash.
That's hogwash. Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah, some things get a lot of flack.
They do.
Not necessarily hogwash, but I think if you're in a situation where you think that you're calling something forth, you're trying to get an outcome, you may believe that outcome has happened when it really hasn't. You can have things where if you're in a group, you think you see something, it really wasn't there, but like kind of like a mass hysteria thing where people think they see the same thing but they don't. It could be just a mental impression because you are using all your energy to get that desired outcome. And that's the difference between seeing a ghost. I may be walking down the hall here, I am not trying to see anything, and something walks in front of me. So I wasn't purposely trying to, so this is a little more legitimate when I see something because I wasn't trying to.
Well, wouldn't you argue going into a house trying to do an EVP, you are trying to capture something?
I'm trying to as far as that, but I can't imprint voices on my recorder. That's when I can't do that. I don't have the mental capability to do that. And I also, when I go in as the skeptic. I'm the Ryan Beckett when I go in.
Is your hair as good?
No, I will never achieve that cough.
Is your hairdo today? Is that really Ace Ventura style? Did you have your hair out or did you? Because I mean, that's it's just a nice mane. It's a nice mane.
I cut it shorter, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a little more unruly lately.
It's a good look.
Yeah, no, I like it. I've
very
been wearing
good
a
look.
hat.
I'm curious why, like with black magic and those kind of things, because the military, it's a survival thing. So the jet airplane, the nuclear bomb, the internet, that's all from military, right? And that's survival of countries and whatever. How come there's not really any talk of the military using black magic, and what's the downside of it if it not work? Like to at least try it, or to put a spell on the enemy, or to
There was talk that the Nazis dabbled in like everything that you could possibly think of that you could use to gain power or control.
It's insane.
So they worked on like black magic and some other like experimental things of opening portals and such. They worked on all sorts of stuff.
I don't know if you say
But
it out,
you're right.
If you say it out loud, though, a whole army using black magic, what could go wrong? And it's very alarming.
yeah.
It's funny how magic's tied to like olden times, like
Because
you
like
think
the Orient, like you would think a lot of the Orient, like in the Far East, like would be big on
For
black
sure.
magic, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they definitely incorporate it in their like karate, in like the taekwondo they do. I think they incorporate that there's like a magic. I guess not. They wouldn't call it magic, but like an energy flow to it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and like the Persians, like based on like
For
the
sure.
300 would have like and they would freak people out because they would smoke bombs or gunpowder, and
Well, the Chinese came up with fireworks, and then
Right.
people you'd have to export them out, and people would get those, and that'd be like fantastic. They couldn't figure out how they worked.
Yeah, the speaking of the East and the Eastern ways,
The Far East.
Well, I just started this thing where it's what you do at nighttime. You take an onion, you cut an onion up, okay, and you put it in a sock. You put the sock on, and you go to bed with onions in your socks. It's an old ancient Chinese remedy to rid.
It probably pulls the toxins
the
out of your
toxins.
feet into
Yes.
the onion.
I mean, the going through the feet is a big thing. There's that's
Hands
where,
and feet.
Yeah, so I'm trying this thing out where I'm putting onions in my socks and going to bed at night to just rid of some toxins. I'm doing like a cleanse as I'm drinking my ginger ale over here.
The Asians are very big into foot health. It's part of their culture.
Absolutely, and my room smells awful. It smells like an onion factory.
How long have you been doing it?
One night. I started it yesterday. Yeah. So I'll let you guys know. But when I read that, I'm like, that's a cool. I love easy to do home remedy type things.
For sure.
It's not what the
Well,
worst.
before medicine, that was what you had.
Well, the worst thing that's gonna happen is my room smells like an onion for a day, and then I just put, get some Lysol, and I'm good. But I'm interested in seeing if I feel a little bit healthier. I'm very fascinated by the Eastern medicine. I think it's really a really cool
Yeah,
thing.
they prescribe very heavily into using herbs in your daily diet, not even such as a medicine, but just if you incorporate the herbs into your life in general, you'll live better.
Well, I just know a lot of people who have done stuff like Eastern type medicine, and they swear by it. I mean, they really, really say you got to at least give it a try before you even knock it. And I'm not here with an agenda just because I'm putting onions in my
Who's
socks.
paying you, bird? I get it.
But I thought that if you guys wanted to, I wanted to see if you guys
Onions in the socks.
wanted to do the onion challenge with me.
I'm gonna let you be the early adopter, and you can just let me know.
Come on, Vicky.
No, I don't think my dog would appreciate it either.
I bet your dog would love it, probably.
Back in the day, man, when we used to party and everybody be drinking, whoever passed out first, we used to put salsa in their sock, and we call it salsa socks. And when they woke up in the morning, they squish down on it. It'd be terrible. Who knew we were doing good? Because there was onions in there.
But
You're ahead of your
before we
time.
had medicine, that's all they did was remedies like that, natural ones. There was one, I think an old Kentucky one, is if you had a wart, you cut a potato in half and you put it on the wart for a little while, and then you're supposed to go in the yard and throw the potato and not look and see where it went, and then the wart went away.
Boy, I did that work?
I don't know. I never had a wart.
No way that worked.
Yeah, right, man.
But there were
No,
some
just-
things. My dad was a huge believer in onions. There were a lot of things he used onions for.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean,
It pulls the toxins out of your feet.
well, it makes sense in your feet. I think isn't the pores in your feet easy to get to because it's on the bottom and it's saturated with that onion juice overnight. It would probably leak in there.
Well, they say from the way your body circulates that it can collect more towards your feet because it's the bottom and then it has to go back up so that a lot of toxins will be more down there. They say that you're supposed to, and I do it every time I get gas. It's easy to do. It only takes a minute. But you stand on the curb and bend your ankles, like stretch your ankles out a lot. If you stretch it out a lot, it helps the flow down there and keeps it from collecting down at your
Yeah,
feet.
no, I mean, it's
Ankle health is important.
It is feet and ankle health actually really good. And
Ankle health is big, man.
like you were saying, it is. They really believe that in the East.
They do,
That is
man.
a major health point over there.
Their diet's much different too. They're much more fish-based,
Yeah.
which you could argue they get mercury issues. So, I mean, you live, you die.
Just to let you guys know, back by popular demand, people want more rap songs from everybody.
Oh yeah.
So you got to get back in the booth, Vicky. I'm sorry. They want more.
They want one from the bird too, though.
Oh, I'll jump in
So
this
what's
game.
the rules this time? Do we have some copyright issues last time?
We did, but like such is life. You learn to ignore things. No, we'll be
Wait,
fine.
so does that mean that I won? Because
Yeah, yours is all ridge.
it's original?
But do you want to win like that, though? Beckett wins on a no.
They have
I-
a term for that. What is that when you win on something?
horseshit. No, I think just do more stuff that we learn. It can be. I like how everyone can be their own artist, man.
Okay.
Or we should do like a poetry slam. We have to do like a spoken word poem.
I'm down with the werewolf man.
Yeah,
I love
it.
I love when on those poetry slams they
They
think
accentuate words.
they think they're going to the one word. You're like, I can't believe all of this weightless.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Or
It's
then he's
very
like,
true.
and I was so mad and I stopped in my place. You know, they
Yeah.
bring it up real loud.
We've been to a couple poetry
Yeah.
slams before. They are real uncomfortable.
Some characters go up there.
But I love it though. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on them. I just
No,
it
for
can
sure.
get really uncomfortable.
I mean,
Some
it's,
people get like really into it, and the lady gets up there and starts crying. And you're
it's
like,
real
dude.
expressive, real expressive.
It's very expressive. No, it's actually a lot of fun to go to.
It is. I like to see what people are doing, man. Like I said, we're free to roam.
Well, just because you don't know what the hell is about to happen. I'd never
You
gone
can go
to.
anywhere.
Well, I thought the first person was mad and they started yelling at the crowd. I'm like, what's going on here? So you guys are cool with the rap songs?
oh, cool.
I love it.
Let's have those.
Or haikus.
So yeah, we could do rap song or we're gonna have Vicky decide rap song, spoken word.
Spoken word. Of course, I'm going to take something I don't have
But
to sing.
if you're gonna do spoken word though, it's gotta be like this. Oh, like that. Okay.
Okay.
I
I have
hope
no
you.
problem with that. You should see me with children.
I hope we got some good spoken word voices here.
Oh yeah,
Becky, got to get into it.
I'm into it. Next week I'm in Africa though, so
Of course.
that's right.
That's right. Yeah, I have a couple other of my friends that are going to Africa. What? So, are you saving dolphins or orphans?
You're going to Africa and then Reykjavik, right?
Are you saving orphans, dolphins, or dolphins that are orphans?
it's a counter poaching campaign.
Ah, yes. I bet it's so awesome, though.
Yeah.
I bet going out. I couldn't
Oh,
imagine.
I mean, you got it after you get all the shots. It's probably awesome, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go in Mozambique. We're gonna do bush training, and the ivory trade there is pretty crazy. It was supposed to be in August. It's a long story. My buddy has a charity that helps support this bunch of South African paramilitary guys, and they're gonna bring the bitch boy Beckett out in the bush. And
So, what do you guys? What's the actual?
so, long story short, they go and have an advisory group, kind of like the American military goes and advises the Iraqi military group. So they go to different parks around the continent of Africa and teach them what they have been able to do and implement to
stop poaching?
to throw
And they're poaching. Is this anti-poaching elephants or like everything
everything, but mostly elephants and rhinos.
Man, elephants.
for their ivory?
And it's
Gotcha.
big in North Korea. It's big in China.
I am fascinated by elephants. I cannot believe
Elephants are smart. They're wise.
They're smart, and they really. I mean, when their tribe or one of their guys or girls go down, they take it.
They care for their dead.
They cry and they'll bury. Oh, it's heart. You ever see elephants when one of their own die and how emotional
It's
they
crazy.
get? Oh, it's insane.
And what's going on out there is crazy. A shameless plug at Becketlist. You can follow me. I'll give a shout out to the podcast. And if anyone has any ideas that's weird and whatever in Africa while I'm there, I might as well.
Yeah, get weird.
Oh, you gotta
man.
watch out for Lions in the Dark. That's a movie.
That
Yeah,
sounds like
Ghost
a
in the
song.
Darkness.
That sounds like a
yeah,
song.
Ghost in the Darkness.
It's based
That's
on a
what it
true
was.
story.
Yeah,
And it being
absolutely.
two female lions that were hunting humans.
You gotta watch out for that. I haven't seen that movie in like a fortnight.
All right, Vicky, ready for a Would You Rather?
Always.
I like Would You
Always.
Rather.
Coming out as a Would You Rather.
I tell you this one. This is not nearly as weird. It's actually a little bit more. But I'm going to be simple. But there are rules to each one of them.
Okay, but don't add rules after you ask us because you don't like our answer.
I can't
okay?
make any
No.
promises.
You're like the guy from Saw.
My sisters always yell at me for that same shit. You can't add rules. Okay. Would you rather? Now, really think about this. Now, before any of these happen, you can't tell anybody in your personal life why you're doing this, and you can never explain why. So, when you choose one of these, and your loved one goes, Vicky, why would you do that? You just say, you know what? Because I got an edge to myself. And that's the only answer you can give. All right. Would you rather have sex with a robot live on the internet, and we're talking everything under the sun is going down for 3 hours and everybody knows about it? We're talking parents,
3 hours.
family members. I mean, every crazy thing you can think of is going down. That
Gatorade.
so when somebody goes, Vicky, why did you make that video? What's your answer?
Oh, I forgot what I was supposed to say.
Because I got an edge to me.
I got an edge to me.
Well,
Or
I got the chills when you said that, Vicky. Or I lost my place. Okay, or only talk like Bigfoot for the rest of your life. So when you're teaching, Miss Vicky, I have a question. Hey, Beckett, you want to go out tonight? Becky, you want to make love? That's all you got. Those are your two options. And you can't, and then you're not allowed to text, write why you're talking like Bigfoot. It's just the way it is for the rest of your life. What do you pick?
Hey, that's an easy one.
That's easy?
Yeah.
are you going?
I'd have to
robot?
go with the video.
You go with the video.
I'd have to. I don't want to talk like Bigfoot for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Wednesday is my favorite time because I get to come here and I get to talk. And you would not have me on the show if I talk like Bigfoot every
I don't
week.
know.
That is
We could
not
probably
true.
learn. We would learn the way. It'd be like Chewbacca. We would just learn the dialect.
Are you kidding me? Woman turns into Bigfoot or has Bigfoot voice. That would get that would get worldwide attention.
Yeah, but nobody would understand what I was saying. So
I would. I would.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going. I'm kind of shocked by that, Mr. Beckett.
100% video.
100% video. Denny's.
I'd go video.
Wow. I got to come up with tougher questions.
That's so easy.
Yeah.
That's so easy. Everyone's gonna. I mean, everything's hanging. Everyone's gonna see all your naked parts. They're gonna see, and no one's gonna know why you did that. So Vicky's gonna make this explicit sex robot video, and she can't tell anybody why. You'd rather have that?
Than to talk like Bigfoot.
Which one would
yeah.
you pick?
I don't know. I think I'd have to pick the video because you're right. I can't. All right. I will.
The fun ones are like the ones that you're really conflicted about.
I thought you would be. I thought, because I asked somebody else that same question. They're like, oh my gosh, I could never do a sex video. I could never do.
I feel like nowadays it's kind of okay.
You can just act like you're a movie star.
Yeah.
Try to get some views.
Yeah.
Wow, man,
I did it for the gram.
you guys have become so cold.
Yeah, that's what the internet does to you.
And plus, I still haven't seen this robot sex. He showed me something that's just, these are dolls, basically, right?
they're robot
Man,
dolls that
we gotta get this
they
man
heat
off-
up to. I don't want to get too much into the specifics here, but
This is part of the weird / whatever. You can get in specifics.
yeah. Well, so I mean, they don't walk around and serve you, but like they heat up to body temperature.
I think
But they're
Beckett
still
wants.
just a starfish.
He wants something that looks like a woman and that feels like a woman.
Yeah, 100%. Even when I get a massage, that's the case.
Would you do robot massages?
100%. What are those chairs that we spend like $4,000
Is
on?
it illegal?
Yeah.
Would it be illegal if a robot gave you a happy ending?
Illegal?
I guess
Well, it's illegal if a human gives you a happy ending. I can't go
your
to.
wife wouldn't even mind because it's like an inanimate object.
Well, a single dude goes to a massage place and he gets a happy ending.
From
That's from a
From a
person.
robot.
That's illegal. You go to jail. If I get a massage and it's a robot and she happens to, flog the dolphin for me, is that illegal?
Can't be illegal. Women have vibrators.
Yeah, but it's
But you're
not
going
like
to a public place to do it.
It's not like, I mean, we're talking about Vicky. You see what I'm saying? Why the?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't think it's ever going to come up, but yeah.
I think.
No pun intended.
I think this is the world we're living in. I think guys are going to be getting robot happy endings. Is it legal, Denny's?
It would be the safest.
I think it's going to drive down adultery.
Possibly. I could see the
Instead of
reasoning.
sneaking off, and if they had robot prostitutes, they like whistle at you as you walk by.
Like Uber's unintended effect, like they wanted to make profit, disrupt an industry, like innovate and do something like that. But Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, MAD, came out and was like, man, drinking and driving has like gone down so much as a result of rideshare companies like Lyft and Uber.
Yeah,
Which is great.
Well, so back in the day, it was really tough to go out anywhere without calling a taxi. So I
It was a pain
think
in the ass.
Uber and Lyft have made life different.
Don't
They've
get-
changed.
Don't get me started on taxis. I
Yeah.
mean, I think they
They're the worst.
I just.
But you used to call them; they'd be late. You never know if
If
they're
they'd
actually
show up.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
don't worry. You will call a cab and they will not show up or call you, and you will be late to a function.
Yeah, or your flight, 100%. But the great thing about robot sex is that, yeah, like you can do whatever.
And you could probably detach 100%.
Well, I mean, there's just another article that came out. It said women would not be that freaked out if they found out their man had, or a guy that you're dating had a sex robot. I even think Vicky was quoted at a former podcast saying, yeah, sex robots pretty awesome, or something along
Yeah,
those
could you pull that audio up for me?
We need to get them as a sponsor wherever this company is.
What, the sex robots?
Yeah.
We do talk about them a lot.
We do.
We talk about them a lot, and we hate on the lizard people a lot.
But I still haven't seen the sex robot. Just
Oh, my gosh.
just putting it out there.
All right. Well, we will definitely work on that.
All right, thanks.
Vicky, you had a email that you had read. Remember we talked a little bit about that before the
Yeah,
podcast?
there was an email, and there is a YouTube channel that some guy, because we were talking about those paranormal games, and there's a guy, I guess, someone had sent me an email saying that if we want to check it out on YouTube, I think it was Live Sci-Fi.
Okay.
And the guy's name that runs it is Tim, and he plays all those games and videotapes it to see if anything happens, and then I guess he investigates like famously haunted places like the Sally House and things like that.
Boy, man, the one hate email we do get, because we get a lot of great email. People say great things about our podcast, but the hate email that I consistently get is, I'm a non-believer. You guys are trying to convince people that these things are real. It gets to a point where, and I'm kind of just, summarizing this. You guys are trying to get people to believe it. If you say don't do this, it gets to a point where just saying don't do this stuff because it's bad, like the Ouija board or like the possession, they think they're kind of calling us out, saying we're a bunch of bitches for not doing it because they want proof.
Well, then they can go and they can get the proof, and then they can have the side effects from it.
They say they won't do that because they don't know what they're doing, and that we are a little bit more well versed in these situations. That we've got the connections, we have all that type of stuff. We've got a forum that people will actually somewhat listen. What are your thoughts?
I mean, there's certain things that I will try.
Black magic, love spell.
Let's try the love spell. Let's try that on.
You try it on me.
Yeah.
So let's try it. I don't give a shit.
Men are susceptible.
Who are we doing it to? who am I doing the love spell with? No, but that is one of the naysayer type points we
But
get.
I don't think any of us really like force our view on anybody.
No, we
you
don't.
know?
It's not that.
I'm not trying to convince anybody.
Yeah, we kind of talk
anything.
about which ones we think we subscribe
It's just
to.
opinion.
I'll own some of it. Well, I said that I did not do part of the possession because the hurricane came. I didn't hear back from those people. But in the long run, I don't think I was going to do it anyway because a lot of people got really the don't do it,
It could be
don't
a
do
bad
it.
scene.
So I caved into some pressure. I mean, if you want to blame the bitch card, blame it on me. Don't blame it on bitch boy Beckett.
So I looked up another spell that I think we could do.
All right, what do you got, Denny's?
Well, this one's a little more harmless, I guess you could say.
All
But
right.
it's a truth spell, and you only need 3 things for it. It's a marjoram oil, which I've never heard of, which I guess you can get somewhere, a red candle, and a pink rosebud. And I guess it forces. It doesn't force, but it gently encourages a person to be truthful.
Maybe like the movie Liar Liar.
I
Love
mean, that or just get a bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of truthful son of a bitches where they get some vodka.
Well, that's
in
what.
them.
Well, why don't we try that, and then whatever we're asked, we try to lie and see if we can actually lie.
Yeah.
All right, let's play a game really quick. I want either a truth or a lie from you. So give me a statement from you. So, for example, I'm Ryan Beckett, and I was on the Bachelor series, something like that. We have to determine whether you're lying or whether you're telling the truth. Do you have one, Denny's, ready to go?
Wait, what? Sorry, I was stretching, man.
You didn't hear any of that?
So we're jumping into the truth. So we have to tell a.
Tell a lie or a truth. We have to determine whether you're telling the truth or a lie. Give us a
just a
fact
random
about
story.
you.
A random story
Yeah,
about me.
make it sort of quick.
A sentence.
All right, so when I was younger, me and my brother were probably about 6. We were sitting and watching television, and we had a large window at my old childhood house, and the blinds were down. And through the silhouette from the TV reflecting, and there must have been some sort of light source momentarily from the outside, it scrawled across the window, and I saw the impression of a man with horns, kind of like a... What are you making fun of my story, bro?
Because you're a terrible liar.
That's a true story, dog.
No, it's not.
Yeah, me and my brother.
You saw a horned man?
It's fake. Whatever, man. I thought it was doing pretty good. I thought it was doing pretty good. Way
A
to
horny
ruin it,
man?
man. I had him captivated.
A horny man.
I was too busy laughing.
He had horns on his head.
I know my baby. I know my baby's lying.
Calling out my fake story.
Well, that's the game. We call it out.
All right, so here, tell us one.
I
here.
cut you off too early.
Let's see.
You made me laugh.
I'm gonna see if you got some.
No, let's go. Let's go with Mr. Beckett. Vicky, do you have one?
I have one.
Okay, here we go.
I've been a paranormal investigator for 11 years, and I have seen more than 5 full body apparitions.
I said that's true. More than 5, though. Weird.
Why is that weird?
If it's that significant and it's that low a number, you'd think you remember all of them.
Is she playing Ghost Mind Games with us right now?
Pause.
Oh my gosh, she just put us in the psychic spin zone. I'm gonna say that's true. And if it's not true, you're a very
I'm gonna bust
Good
out some
liar.
marjoram oil.
I would say true.
I have not seen one single full body apparition in
Damn.
11 years of
That's
investigating.
what I'm saying.
We got
You would
Vicky.
count them.
We got Vicky. You did. You kind of took the approach of like a test. You try to reason it out.
For sure.
Good job, Denny. All right, you got one now, Mr. Beckett.
I've had tantric sex with an ex-girlfriend.
Oh come on.
The tantric. Oh,
Tantric.
yeah.
You've definitely done that.
Yeah.
You
What?
have.
You want to, though.
You definitely want to.
I feel like you guys would take that hook, line, and sinker.
Is it tantric sex when you like hold off from finishing?
Yeah, from the
and
end.
it builds this energy.
I think it's something mental, right? It's like a mental.
Well, I think it's mental and physical. I think you have to have a little bit of both to be able to.
I thought if you get like the highest level of tantric, like you can just like make yourself
You
like,
can sit
climax
there.
without any touch at all.
Us humans, we can never find a high enough.
There always
high.
has to be a better
There's
one.
always got to be something better. Yeah, we gotta.
Everybody's chasing the dragon from the first time it happens.
We gotta hold in our feelings.
It'll never be as good
It's
as that first
interesting.
time. Sorry to ruin it.
Actually, the first time was horrible.
For what?
The first time you found out that
Sex.
like that happened. No, I'm saying the first time you found out that.
This wasn't that bad, but you know.
Oh, did you have a first bad sex? I did
Prom
not.
night.
I did not have a good sex.
It was prom night with my girlfriend. How cliche is that?
Oh my gosh, mine was so bad. I feel like such an idiot because I was so nervous. And at halfway through, she could hear my heart. She stops and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I can hear your heart pounding.
you
Are you
alright?"
okay?"
That's so
Oh
funny.
my
Like,
God.
are you crying, Jason?
I felt like such a dick. I'm like, "Oh no, man, it's just hot in here."
I feel like first time goes rough for everyone because you're nervous. You got hormones coursing through you, controlling your mind.
Well, I did not think I was gonna have sex. I remember I started dating the girl, and earlier in the day, I'm like, she's really coming on to me in the jacuzzi. What's going on? And then we ended up parking in my '89 Sunbird, so hot. It was
Nice.
such a sweet car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think this is happening, and I was so blown away.
Oh, imagine
Pun
if you ate like a
intended.
full meal before that.
I think I did have a
Oh,
meal.
jeez.
Back then, I had like 9 hamburgers. I'm sure of
Because
it.
you didn't think it was gonna. Oh, that'd be rough.
Did everybody go except for me?
Yeah, your turn.
Okay. I once had somebody plant cocaine in my book bag back at Gardens High School, and for 3 weeks, the entire school thought I was dealing cocaine, and all my friends stopped talking to me, and I was temporarily kicked off the baseball team.
You had someone plant.
Someone planted cocaine on me, and people thought it was me.
And blamed him
And
for
blamed
it.
me. So for 3 weeks, until I could prove my innocence, I was off the baseball team. I lost a lot of friends. My girlfriend broke up with me. It was actually a horrible experience. Am I telling the truth or a lie?
A lie.
A lie. Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Go with lie.
Go with lie.
I'm with them. I think that was a fabricated story.
I was truthful.
Was it really?
A truthful lie.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
I was watching some Narcos earlier.
Yeah, I suck at lying, man. I just.
No, you did good, man. I thought you did real good. Give us one more. Give us a truth or a lie. Try it, because I cut you off, and I'll get emails. Don't cut off, Denny's. Give us a truth or a lie.
Truth or a lie?
And really try to nail it.
I thought I was doing well on that other one. I got a laugh out of you. Let's see here. When I was 12 years old, I developed a habit of biting my fingernails, and I had to go to a therapist for about 2.5 months because they couldn't figure out why I would develop a habit like that late in life. And then we found out it was because I was under stress because of homework.
Vicky, what do you got?
Didn't you say before you didn't like do your homework?
What's up? I was actually very astute.
Yeah, he was one of those stoner good
Oh, he actually
students.
did.
Because I was real nerdy and I was like real into learning when I was young, and then I found drugs, and then I got real into learning and doing tons of drugs. I married the two together, and I found this fantastic thing that happens.
Does that annoy you sometimes when a kid is kind of a little rough? He not following the rules, but they're super smart, and they kind of
Oh.
they beat the system because they're wicked
Yeah.
smart. Does that annoy
This
you?
one kid I'll never forget. He never ever did what he was supposed to. Didn't do his homework, had funny answers for his homework, and would ace every stinking test I
It
gave him.
annoyed you. That's
Tests
so
are the only ones
funny.
that matter. It depends on whenever you get your syllabus, what counts as the most. That's what you focus all your energy
That's
on.
so funny. But I bet teachers do get annoyed by that smart kid. That
Yeah, because there's nothing you can say. Oh, if you don't study, you're not going to pass. No, didn't work for him.
he or she takes away your power a little bit. I get
Yeah.
it. So was Denny's lying?
Is that a truth or a lie?
I thought I believed him until he smiled at the end.
That might be part of his game, though, Beckett.
Could be in your head.
He likes to flash some pearly whites at you, make those thoughts start swimming in your head. That's his tactic.
I don't bleach them for nothing.
I think it's a lie.
Go lie, Vicky.
I'm gonna go lie.
I'm gonna go lie too.
Damn, it is a lie.
I kind of like that game. It's kind of a fun game.
Yeah.
That'll be part of the whatever part of the podcast. So we're gonna probably wrap it up because we're about at an hour. Do you guys have anything to plug? Anything else you want to bring up real quick?
Yeah, I have something. I captured an EVP on my road, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
doing a shout out before I play it. I'm going to do a shout out to anybody who is a psychic medium who wants to help me because I can't read for myself, and I'm not going to get involved personally because of the nature of the EVP. I can't investigate myself or anything connected to it. So if anybody wants to help me out, they can go ahead and email my personal email, which is nancy38drew@aol.com, and get in touch with me and let me know if you can help me and tell me who this is.
Question: what if you have someone approach you and they're a shitty psychic and you're like,
Well, I'm gonna have to talk to them and.
So
and-
just to let people know, there is a vetting type process that's going to be going
Yeah.
down here.
I mean, it's interesting. It'll just be interesting to me to see what they say, regardless. And with anybody who's psychic, you're gonna get hits and misses. I mean, it just depends.
I'd like a crack at that thing.
Okay.
Question. Nancy Drew, like the books?
Yeah,
look at
that's where I got the.
Well, who else would? Yeah, Nancy Drew.
Oh, I never heard your actual email.
I think you talked about you liking Nancy Drew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to grow up to be a detective, but
I was
Well-
a Hardy Boys guy. I'm sorry.
I read Hardy Boys back in the day.
I like Choose Your Own Adventure.
How-
I should bring that back.
Of
Vicky,
more-
have you ever done anything with animals, or is it strictly humans?
I've read horses before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was interested whether it's Vicky or if there's anyone else that listens that could do something with horses or dogs or something, whether it's my dogs or one of my clients or friends' horses.
Like a horse whisperer.
Yeah, something out in Wellington. Like, that would be really interesting
Yeah,
to me.
that'd be a cool video for you to film too.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what.
I've read a couple horses, and I was able to identify where they were hurting and told the owner, and then they followed my advice of basically what the horse was telling me.
Would you like
and
go?
they improved.
Would you say like, "Hey, does it hurt here, horse?" Nay. would they?
They were just talking to me just like they had a human voice.
Really?
Yeah, and they were telling me what body part this horse. It was like something
So
on its leg.
If a raccoon comes up to you and wanted to have a moment with you, you would hear that raccoon voice, but it would be human.
Yeah, it's a human voice that it's like they're talking to me just like they're a person.
That'd be cool.
That would be real cool. I'd like to try to develop.
If I ever had
skills.
we've talked about if you ever wanted a power, like what would it be? Like, it'd be an amazing power to have, to be Dr. Doolittle.
Talk to animals.
Oh yeah, it'd be phenomenal.
Can we
It'd
do
be
like,
big.
Can we do like a boot type camp to speed up my psychic process?
Yeah, if you could actually sit down and do something.
Let's
yeah.
go. Let's go into training. Let's go into
Okay.
hardcore spring training, baby.
Okay.
In the middle of fall.
Yeah, actually, the thing that kick-started mine was I did an out-of-body experience, and it was one that I knew where I was going to go because I figured it out, and I went through the process. And then when I did that, it's just like everything opened up after that.
Do you have that EVP?
Yeah.
All right. So none of Denny's, myself, or Mr. Beckett have not heard this.
It's gonna make a noise.
We're gonna try to.
A little bit of help if I put it in the right spot.
That wasn't so bad.
That wasn't bad at all.
We're gonna try to figure out what this EVP. Now, this is something that involves you personally, correct?
Correct. I was going down my road, and you're going to hear the sounds of like we were wearing jeans. I give a shout out to Allison because she was there, and we're just walking down the street, and then you're going to hopefully hear it. This is without headphones or anything, so all right. Well, it's certainly bright enough. Actually, I didn't hear it myself with that. Well, it's certainly bright enough. Yeah, on the air. Like Denny's did hear it earlier,
Yeah,
and he could
it's
totally
weird.
hear it.
When it's plugged in, you can't hear it as much. I
Yeah.
can hear it super duper faintly.
Is
Yeah.
it right in the beginning?
No, it's towards the end, and like I
It's-
said, you can hear it without headphones through my phone, but going through all this,
Yeah,
just
it's
not-
weird. It kind of
Yeah.
like. It's,
Are you able to post that on our Weird and Whatever Facebook?
Sure.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and post that on our Weird and Whatever Facebook. I believe it'll say Jason Pennington on there, but then you'll see the Weird and Whatever little logo up there. We'll post that up.
but if you listen off a cell phone speaker, you can hear it much more distinctly.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll
I'll play it for you after the show.
yeah, I love it. I love it. Very, very good. Okay. Plug, Mr. Beckett.
No, just follow me on at Beckett List
Yeah, I'll
on
follow
Instagram.
your adventures
The
through
Africa thing would
Africa.
be cool, and we're trying to save an elephant in Africa that's stepped on a snare, like a poacher snare. So they're doing some like emergency surgery on the foot. So I posted a link on that page.
I don't know. I don't want to speak for the guys and girls in here, but I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit of a anti-elephant poaching rap song, one of those social conscious songs.
I'll work on that.
Yeah.
I'm just
I mean,
throwing
you'll
that out
have
there.
the scenery. It'll look
That's true.
pretty cool
I'm just
behind.
throwing that out. A lot of.
How-
Oh, wait, so now we're doing a video?
Well, I'm just saying there's a lot of words that rhyme with elephant, so
Sure.
we could.
How did you do on that one picture you did on Instagram where you're under the pool? How did you make the water moving?
Oh, there's a cool app. I'll show you. Yeah.
That was cool looking.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
Vicky, anything to add? We're winding down.
No, just anybody who's interested in helping me out on this, just email me, nancy38drew@aol.com.
Gotcha. And Denny's your Twitter.
Yep, at producer Denny's.
And I'm at Jason Bigfoot. Thank you guys for listening. We love you all. Continue to send us emails, comments, all that stuff. We love it, and it does, without a doubt, help out the show. So thank you guys very much. We love you all, and
Bigfoot is real.
What was that? What? What's that sound? It's aliens.